Welcome to the video on Tech Talk Central. I'm Nathan.
And I'm Sarah. Great to be here for this week's deep dive.
Yeah, glad you could join. So, look, usually when we talk high-end TVs, it's all specs, right? Processors, nits, color gamuts.
Right, the deep tech stuff. But today we're shifting focus quite a bit. Our mission is really specific. Aesthetics, we're looking at how two very style-conscious TVs actually manage to blend into your home.
Exactly. This isn't about just the best picture. It's about the best-looking TV in your room. You spend ages decorating, getting everything just right.
And then, bam, there's this giant black rectangle just sitting there.
Precisely. So this deep dive is for you if you want that tech to actually complement your decor, not clash with it. We're pitting the 2025 LG G5 OLED Evo against the 2024 Samsung 55-inch frame QLED, purely on design and aesthetics.
And it's interesting because both LG and Samsung are aiming for that seamless integration, but their whole philosophy, their engineering, totally different ways of getting there.
Okay, let's start with the wall itself. Section 1. How do these things actually hang? The design philosophy. LG seems to be all about minimalism with their one-wall design.
Oh, absolutely. They're pursuing that ultimate flush mount. The idea is practically zero gap between the TV and the wall.
Wow, zero gap. How thin is it then?
Well, the spec sheet lists the depth at just 1.1 inches. That's incredibly thin for the whole unit. It's meant to just hug the wall, almost disappear from the side view.
And they make it easy, right? I think the wall bracket comes with it.
That's key, yeah. The specific wall bracket is included. So LG's philosophy is really about the panel itself being the design statement. It's all about physical thinness.
Okay, minimalist panel. Now, Samsung's frame. That takes a different angle, doesn't it?
Completely different. The frame's whole reason for being is to look exactly like a piece of framed art. And to pull that off, they had to solve some, practical problem.
Like the cable mess. Always the cables.
Exactly. So yes, they include their slim fit wall mount, which gets it nice and flush, looking like a real frame. But the real magic, or the core design innovation, is the One Connect box.
Ah, yes, the external box. Takes all the inputs away from the screen itself.
That's the one. All your HDMI ports, USB, power. It all plugs into this separate box.
Wow.
And then just one single, fairly discrete cable runs up to the actual display panel.
So it gets rid of that wire clutter behind the screen.
It totally eliminates it at the screen level. So you see the philosophical split, right? LG focuses on making the panel itself incredibly thin. Samsung focuses on the border looking like a frame and managing the clutter with that external box.
That's a really important distinction. But wait,
Right.
That One Connect box,
Right.
It has to go somewhere, right? It's not invisible.
And that is the crucial practical point you have to think about. That box is, roughly the size of a small cable box or a thick laptop. It needs power. It needs ventilation.
So the screen looks clean, but you've now got this other piece of hardware to hide.
Exactly. You either need to run that single connect cable through the wall to a media cabinet or find a spot for the box nearby, maybe in a console table. LG's approach, while needing careful power routing, keeps it all contained in the slim panel. Samsung basically shifts the cable management problem away from the wall.
And onto your furniture or closet setup.
Huh.
Okay, that's a definite trade-off. All right, moving on. What about when the TV is, off? That's the other big aesthetic hurdle, the art mode battle.
And this is really Samsung's home turf. The frame is basically built around its art mode. It's the king of the off state.
It definitely seems to have the most options for personalization. You've got different magnetic bezels you can snap on.
Right, different colors, different styles, plus third-party options like Deco TV frames. And then digitally, you can choose different matte layouts behind the artwork.
Really letting you tailor it. And there's a huge library of art, too.
Over 2,500 pieces in the Samsung Art Store. Now, you do need a subscription for full access. That's part of the ongoing cost. But the key thing here, aesthetically speaking, is the quality claim. Pantone validated, artful color.
Okay, Pantone validated. What does that actually mean for the viewer, like in practical terms?
It's a big deal for color accuracy, especially with art. Pantone validation means the colors you see on screen are certified to be incredibly close to the real-world colors of the original artwork, or the colors intended by the artist. Think museum-quality reproduction, essentially.
So it really commits to looking like actual art, color-wise. Very specific focus from Samsung. How does the LG G5 compare in its off state? It doesn't have that same art focus, does it?
Not in the same curated, validated way. LG's approach is more about using its existing strengths. The G5 can display paintings, photos, other content when it's not showing TV or movies.
So it has an art mode, just maybe not the art mode.
Sort of, yeah. It's more about leveraging that super thin one-wall design. The idea is to use content display simply to help the G5 blend into the surroundings, maintain that seamless look. It uses its physical form factor as the main aesthetic tool.
Okay, so Samsung wants to be a customizable frame for art. LG wants the screen itself to be this seamless digital window that just happens to be showing art or photos.
That really nails the difference. Samsung, deep customization, validated art content, focus on the border. LG, focus on the ultra-thin panel being the aesthetic statement, using content to enhance the blending.
Right. Now let's talk about the enemy of all screen aesthetics, reflections. Section 3, bright room performance. Because nothing ruins the look faster than seeing your own lamp reflected back at you.
Yeah, the giant mirror effect. Both are trying to combat this, but again, using totally different tech approaches. Samsung first.
Yeah, let's start with the frame. So a big weapon here is that certified glare-free matte display.
This is huge. It's UL certified, meaning the screen surface isn't glossy glass. It has this matte finish specifically designed to diffuse ambient light. It makes the image look almost printed.
Like paper or canvas rather than a screen.
Exactly. It cuts down reflections dramatically and gives it a texture that really helps sell that art illusion, especially if you've got windows or bright lights in the room.
Okay, that sounds like a direct solution to the glare problem. But the LG G5, it's OLED, right? OLEDs are typically glossy. Doesn't that immediately put it at a disadvantage in a bright room aesthetically?
That's the challenge LG has to overcome. And they're tackling it not with a matte surface, but with, well, brute force brightness and some clever certification.
Brute force?
Yeah.
How bright are we talking?
They're touting their Brightness Booster Ultimate. It's supposed to be significantly brighter, maybe up to 45% brighter than the previous G-series model. The idea is simply to overpower the ambient light with sheer luminance.
So just blast through the reflections.
That's part of it. But they also have a specific certification, Bright Room Ready. This is verified by UL specifically for discomfort glare-free. They measure something called UGR, Unified Glare Rating.
UGR.
It's a standard measure of how uncomfortable bright spots or reflections are to the human eye. LG getting a low UGR score, less than 22, means that even though the screen is glossy, the way it handles light and its own brightness is certified to minimize that visual discomfort. You still get those perfect OLED blacks, even in a bright space.
Huh. So it's a choice then. For your room, do you want Samsung's matte screen that actively stops reflections and looks like paper? Or do you prefer LG's approach? Super bright, glossy OLED that uses its power and specific anti-glare tech to maintain picture quality despite the potential for reflections.
That's the core aesthetic dilemma between the two technologies in a bright room. Mimic paper or embrace the screen and make it work.
Interesting. Okay, quick detour before you wrap up section 4.
Both.
Other aesthetic considerations. Performance can be an aesthetic too, right?
Absolutely. A premium device should feel premium in use. Quick recap. LG G5 is OLED perfect blacks, amazing contrast. Samsung frame is QLED great brightness, known for 100% color volume, good for that vibrant art. Both are 4K, of course.
And sound, video features.
Both support high-end features like Dolby Atmos for sound, which adds to that immersive, clean home theater vibe. The G5 also specifically highlights Dolby Vision and Filmmaker mode.
Ah, Filmmaker mode. That's an aesthetic choice in itself, prioritizing the director's original vision.
Exactly. But where the G5 really leans into performance as an aesthetic is gaming. The frame is about art, but the G5, well, it's also a beast of a gaming display.
Right. Those specs are almost a design statement on their own. You got, what, 0.1 millisecond response time?
Yeah, incredibly fast response time, up to 165 Hz refresh rate, plus NVIDIA G-Sync and AMD FreeSync premium support.
So if high-end gaming is part of your home's aesthetic, the G5 delivers that performance without compromising its super thin wall presence. It's kind of the minimalist powerhouse.
It really adds another layer of versatility to its design appeal.
Okay, so bringing it all together. The mounting, the art mode, the bright room performance, the underlying tech. What's the final takeaway? If you're standing there looking at your wall, planning this out.
What's the bottom line?
Yeah, what's the final provocative thought? For me, it really boils down to your integration strategy. What are you optimizing for? Do you want the absolute minimum physical presence? That LG G5 one-wall design, a screen that's barely there, super thin, disappears into the wall, but also packs incredible performance for movies and gaming.
The ultimate digital canvas approach.
Right, or
Yeah.
is your priority having something that truly looks like framed art when it's off? With the Samsung frame, you get that matte screen, the customizable bezels, the clever cable management via the One Connect box, all dedicated to that art illusion.
The customizable wire-managed artwork approach.
One leans into panel thinness and raw power. The other leans into disguise and customization. Two very different ways to make a TV beautiful in your home.
You really just need to decide which philosophy matches your room and your needs better.
Definitely. Now, if you want to check out the latest prices and deals on either the LG G5 or the Samsung Frame TV,
Be sure to check out the links we've put in the description below.
and thank you for joining us for this deep dive on Tech Talk Central. If you enjoyed digging into the design details with us, please subscribe to the channel for more.
We'll catch you on the next one.